changed to 40-pound vest. I can only imagine if it was 100 pounds, but it makes me want to do some movements and training.
Another interview. Yeah, he said he wants to fight Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz Jr. still.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, two great fights. You know, I mean, we tried so hard to fight Deontay Wilder, and he never wanted to fight AJ. But now he wants to fight him. It's the same thing with Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte did everything to try and fight Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder does not beat Anthony Joshua, and he does not beat Andy Ruiz either.
Wow. Those are the words of Eddie Hearn as he was asked about Deontay Wilder's latest comments for Deontay Wilder to fight Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz. And Eddie Hearn, you know, he flat out said that he doesn't beat any of those guys. He doesn't beat Andy Ruiz or he doesn't beat Joshua. Let me counterpunch. When the interviewer asked Eddie Hearn had this like, and the look was almost like, the fuck are you asking me that for about him now? You know what I mean? That's what I got from it. That's what I got from the expression that he gave the interviewer. Like, we'll see. Yeah, great. You know what I mean? That wasn't really I'm not going to say a sincere, but it wasn't a dedicated answer. It was more like, yeah, sure, we'll see what happens. You know, but I can tell you right now that he doesn't beat Joshua and he doesn't beat Andy Ruiz. And what do I feel about that? You could say Eddie Hearn is supposed to say that. What else is he going to say? You know, especially, you know, Anthony Joshua. He's going to say he doesn't beat Joshua. He's going to back his fighter. Of course he's going to. What else is he going to do? Not, you know, the truth of the matter is, this is what happens when a fighter gets beat by a whole different fighter. All of a sudden, that fighter is no longer valid, no longer dangerous, no longer credible. They lose all credibility, and that's what happens. I mean, it happened to Joshua on the other end. It happened to Pacquiao, okay? When Pacquiao was knocked out by Juan Manuel Marquez, there was no way in hell he was going to beat Floyd. In fact, when Manny Pacquiao got knocked out by Juan Manuel Marquez in 2012 of that year, late 2012, when Floyd came back on the scene after coming out of jail, he fought a guy named Ghost Guerrero, Robert the Ghost Guerrero. And I was at parties and I heard just morons, casuals saying, you know what, that Manny Pacquiao won't even fight the dude, that won't even beat the dude that's fighting Floyd now. I'm like, do you even know who that dude is? Have you even seen him fight before you open your pie hole? You know, those type of things. Well, those things happen, just like Joshua. You know, Joshua got beat. Oh, man, he ain't going to beat Andy. He can't beat Andy. Oh, you know he ain't going to beat Wilder. You know, Wilder will destroy him then, and Wilder himself didn't make it any better because he turned into an ass and said what he said about Joshua. Then Wilder gets beat. Now everybody's talking about Wilder, okay? Then White gets knocked out. So then everyone's talking about White. This is what I see, okay? I see fighters when they lose, they get on so many shit lists of doubt. It's the shit list of doubt. That's exactly what it is. But understand, everybody's on that list, regardless of what side of the street you're on, regardless of who you are a fan of. If you lose, you're going to be on somebody's shit list of doubt. No doubt about it. Okay? That's what happens. And that's what's happening right now. Because Eddie Hearn, imagine Eddie Hearn's perspective. Now, you have to look at it through his eyes. He's a promoter that tried to get a fight with Deontay Wilder for for a long period of time. And the things that were said about him versus the things that he said about Wilder, he doesn't like Wilder, don't care for Wilder. Wilder definitely doesn't like him. Shelly Finkel don't like Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn doesn't care for Shelly Finkel either. So it was like it was all around confusion, by disassociation and dislike. That's what it was. And from Hearn, it was more than just Anthony and Wilder. It was Dillian and Wilder, right? It was a lot of those type of negotiations where it just fell through. Well, he lost. Everyone pretty much lost except Fury. But Fury wasn't even really, the talk of the town yet. He was that comeback kid at that point in time in his career. So the thing was Wilder. Wilder gave a lot of people problems. And then it's a saying that goes, never piss or burn too many bridges, because you do never know when you have to go back across them. And you imagine the things that Wilder said after the first Fury fight. He went from he's scared, he's a coward, to now he's begging, meaning, oh, it's in our court now. I don't care about the belts no more. I don't, you know what I mean? They're not important. I got the WBC, the most prestigious. You guys got to wait on me. And meanwhile, I got another fight with Tyson Fury, so you can't fight him. So guess what? You stuck. That was Wilder. Well, he looked like he was high on the hog. And then in 19, Joshua lost. He was really high on the hog because he was still undefeated and he was still a champ. And Anthony Joshua was not. So he could give a shit about Eddie Hearn at the time. But times change. He got beat by Tyson Fury, and it appears that things are not going his way behind the scenes. It appears that way. Now he's willing to fight Anthony Joshua. See, Anthony Joshua's name is resurfaced. So imagine Eddie Hearn hearing that again. How aggravating that might sound. Like, you want that now after all the shit that you put me through, Joshua through, and the rest of the team of Matchroom and the Zone and all that, and made an ass out of us, only to go back and stay with some people that ended up dumping you and not believing in you anyhow. That's the look I got from Eddie Hearn when someone mentioned Deontay Wilder. So no, he's not going to have really faith in him beating any of those guys. But the truth of the matter is, if Wilder comes with his head screwed, because we're gonna have to see him fight again. So it's kind of hard for me to predict what Wilder can do now. I know what he did before, but based on the things that he said, this, that, and the other, we don't know really where his mind at. We don't know how he will look in the next fight, and until we know that, we won't know what he'll do. Okay, because he said a lot of things, and if he believes a lot of stuff, that means a lot of people around him filling his head full of a bunch of bullshit. And you don't really need that trying to make a comeback. When you're waddling and people are waddling in the past, you don't need that shit at all. Counterpunch. So, yes, Eddie Hearn has put Deontay Wilder on the shit list of doubt. That's where he is. That's where a lot of people were, right? And he will remain there until he redeems himself. But anyway, that's my counterpunch on that. You guys tell me what you think about Eddie Hearn's response that Deontay Wilder will not beat Anthony Joshua nor Andy Ruiz. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.